So this last week, as well as this upcoming week, is a heck of a schedule. I'll tell you what. We already finished the last week. I got my taxes done. I was able to keep up with videos, did all the things. This coming week, however, promises to be challenging for me personally. I have, starting Sunday, today's Friday, starting Sunday is the Baker Creek Tulip Festival. It is the first festival event of the season, so I have to get everything ready. And I got to do that today and tomorrow, and then I'm going out of town for the Keepers of the Old Ways, also an event, something that I have to get ready for. But at the Keepers of the Old Ways, I'm speaking there. And I'm speaking on something that I'm well versed in, fermentation, but is a completely new talk for me, and it's something that I've never tried before, I've never tested before. So I'm writing the whole thing, doing all the research, everything that goes into it. So it's taking a great deal of my time. I just want to make sure that I'm letting you guys know. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with my 3 videos for next week. I'm going to try. I definitely won't be doing Monday Night Lives for the next 2 weeks because I just simply will not be able to. But I'm going to really try to keep up with the videos, but don't be surprised if I don't. So for today, I have to get a bunch of my market stuff ready. I need to clean out coolers, go through my bins, make sure I got everything. It's too late to order anything if I forgot, because I should have done this last week. But I'm pretty sure that I have everything that I need, with like bags and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is just getting everything spruced up, ready to go. Got to take the tent out of the bag, make sure everything there is intact, do all the fun things. At the end of the last year's market season, I did clean these two. However, they've been sitting outside and they don't have like a waterproof seal on the top. So they get filled with rainwater and they just need to be kind of one last cleanup. So I got sponge, I got dish soap, I got a hose, I got my finishing spray, a mixture that is approved by the USDA for an organic spray chemical cleaner. It is it's not actually what's in the bottle. It's half hydrogen peroxide, half water. You spray it on, leave it to set for 5 minutes, and then rinse or wipe it off. Cooler's so full of rainwater, I can't even move it without draining it. All right, so I am not always the most proactive person. I don't always go and do the things that I'm supposed to do. Sometimes I just sit there and stare at something for months and be like, every time I walk by it, I'm like, I should really do something about that. And that has been the case with both my tent and my chalkboard. I have walked by them 2, 3, 4 times a day. Every time I walk by them, I'm like, I should put those away. Did I? No. So let's see how much that's gonna cost me. Good to me. The chalkboard, however, is a different story. It still has writing on it from when I loaned it to a friend of mine. I'm gonna have to take the chalkboard inside. I don't know why I thought I could try and just wipe it off with my hand. It doesn't even work like that when it hasn't been on there for 3 months. All right, so these 2 bins are the bins that I take to the market. This one here has my wipes and some merchandise, some t-shirts and stuff. That one looks fine. This is the one that's got all the nitty gritty. It's got all the sampling spoons and cups and bottle openers. This cute little thing. I use this as a platter to serve up the samples on. Chalkboards, you name it. Looks like I got plenty of bags. Chalkboard, chalk paper. I got this cool little thing. It's actually a sponge holder. But I got it from the last time I was at a Baker Creek event. My neighbor was a I don't know what you call him, a potter. And so I bought this from him. I thought it would be perfect for business cards, and it is. It looks like everything in here is intact. We're good. Really, other than, well, I gotta bring these 2 bins inside overnight. But other than I need to take the chalkboard inside, wipe it all off. I'm even thinking I might repaint it. I have, but I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow. This one doesn't erase very well. It's just a pain in the butt. So I might just repaint it, but I might also just save that for another time because I've only got 2 events coming up, and then I've got nothing until the middle of May. So, and then I've also got those little metal bins. I use those. I just turn them upside down and I kind of display my stuff on top of them. It's kind of like a cute little rustic platform, and I really like it. I had less to do than I thought I did. You guys want to go check out the piglets? So these guys are doing good. They're just chilling. They're all growing. That one's energetic. Except that one, he's not growing. But most of them are growing quite well. I listed these guys on Craigslist to see if anybody was interested in us raising out some organic pasture-raised pigs. Didn't get any takers at the price that would be worth it for me to do. So these guys are going to get listed as feeder pigs. We'll be keeping 4 of them. But other than that, those are all the pigs we're going to keep. These guys are doing good, enjoying their new enclosure. They're digging everything up. I guess we'll just do a tour and I'll update you on some of the things that we've done recently. How about that? After 3 valiant attempts, I give up. The 2 on the far side, they're doing okay. But we just had so much wind and we have cats and it's just not working, so I give up. Most likely last night we had the last frost of our year. It's pretty in keeping with historical norms, and there are no even close to being frosts in the upcoming forecast. So last night was probably the last one. So I'm not super concerned about it. The only thing that I really have to worry about is the cabbage worm moths and armadillos, cats, stuff like that. So hopefully I can gain some control over those. Hopefully they just won't affect me as much as I fear that they may. And little mister that got left behind in this pen is unfortunately still in this pen. The mamas won't let us go anywhere near it. He won't go anywhere near us. They're getting butchered in about 9 days. Less than 9 days. 7 days. They're getting butchered a week from today. So once they're butchered, hopefully we'll be able to get in there, get him out of there, and join him with his fellow litter mates. Miso, still doing good. Fence is still intact. Everybody's just kind of doing good, thankfully. These 2 weeks, last week and this coming week, are weeks I need a break. I don't think I mentioned it to you guys, but we had to quarantine one of our female ducks. She was just haggard beyond almost recognition. She could hardly walk. We have some very randy drakes. We have a very uneven ratio. That's not true. We have an even ratio of drakes to ducks, female ducks. I don't know if you call them hens. And there's that one right there that's hobbling still a little bit. So we had to isolate her. So she's in this hoop. She can't get in or out. And I didn't want her to be lonely, so I put another female duck in there so she wouldn't be lonely. Let's round up the ducks while we're out here, shall we? Before I started letting them out, well, I don't let them out. They just, well, I guess I do. But they very easily can get in and out through this fence. They used to be really easy to round up. Not anymore. Miso! Miso, stop eating the fence! Where are all my ducks? Are they already in? Time for bed, come on. Come on, Patty. Too good. That was easy. All but one of them was already in there. That doesn't happen too often, but I guess usually I try and come out here a little bit earlier, so that would explain why it doesn't usually happen, wouldn't it? Everybody's locked up. One other cool thing I'm going to show you, something that Robert did. The last 2 years we were here, this bed has just been growing and proliferating with Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes. This year, he went ahead, he transplanted them here and here. Likely we'll do it with another bed. I'm very excited about that one because it's a good source of fuel. It's a good source of food, especially for animals. And one thing that I'm very intrigued about is the potential for it to be a very effective natural pesticide. I believe it's used in the Jadam method. Once those things get growing, we're going to turn it into a fertilizer. Comfrey's growing. It's starting to take off. We got a few little comfreys. There's one big one. Promising, at least they didn't die. I literally just hacked them up into like the roots into like 2-inch chunks. But the main thing that I'm fighting in this particular part of the garden really, okay, this area of the garden, this is the original area of the garden where we built it the first year that we were here. It is one of the reasons that I'm starting to not be as big of a fan of the T-posts with the cattle panel trellises that I've always been a massive fan of. The problem is that I couldn't tarp it off over the winter because the T-posts, I can't practically dig them all up and repost them every single year because just the ground that we have here. So I had to leave them in and I couldn't tarp them. And if y'all remember over there, I had tarped it, easy peasy. Took me a total of 2 hours to till up by hand and weed that entire area. It was so easy. You wanna know what I did in 1 hour of work? I did this. This is all I got done. In 1 hour of full jam session, got my headphones blaring, great mood, doing fantastic things, working fast. That's what I got done. Can't remember what it was called. It's this stuff. It starts with an S. I cannot remember. A garden. Oh, what was it? I can't remember. But it is awful. It has roots that go for miles. If you don't get them all, it will proliferate again. So I might just burn it off again and then tarp it over for the winter. Take these T-posts out. Finally give up on not digging up these T-posts. Tarp it over the winter. I'm just gonna have to make do for the summer because this whole thing will take me like a week of straight work and I just don't have the kind of time to devote to that, so it ain't happening. Everything else is doing great. This tarp has stayed still. Our neighbor came through, got us all these tires. We still haven't tarped the other section. That one up there is not tarped either, but yeah, that's kind of the haps around here. These tunnels, I'll leave these on as long as they stay on. But once they start coming off like these ones over here, maybe tomorrow I'll redo that tunnel at the end. It's just the end that came off. I might redo it, but it's like when something gives me that much trouble, I question if it's worth it. So we'll see. But one thing I do want to show you, this is what happens when you neglect your garden for an entire year and you forget to harvest a very large abundance of tomatoes. You get tomatoes. Those are all almost completely tomatoes. Well, except the obvious cabbage. Anybody need some tomatoes? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go after them with the stirrup hoe. I've heard it's also called an action hoe. I don't know which is the technical term, but I call it a stirrup hoe because it looks like stirrup. And because that's what I was originally told it was. We got all the starts in the house. They're doing good. I watered them yesterday. They were getting a little bit dry. The kale, mustard, collards, stuff like that, they're not doing great. It's completely my fault because I just keep forgetting to water them. So I don't even know if we'll get any spring kale. I don't really care that much. The most thing I care about is the tomatoes and the peppers. But, you know, kale's great and collards and stuff, they're great. Mostly for the animal feed. But we don't have as high of a demand for animal feed with only the 4 pigs. So, but the ducks and the chickens, they really like the leafy greens a lot. So I'm going to try, but I'm not going to exhaust myself trying. There's also a bunch of stuff that's keeping me busy kind of behind the scenes. For those of you who don't know, last year at farmers markets, I was selling fermented foods, you know, like kombucha. Major head rush. I'm in like super deep ketosis right now, and I normally have very low blood pressure, but when I get into ketosis, like standing up is like, it's like riding a roller coaster. I have very low blood pressure when I'm in ketosis. So anyways, so last year I was trying to do the sales and stuff like that, and then trying to escalate it to the next level, working with the health department, stuff like that. I've just been waiting for an insane amount of time. I have just finished drafting and submitting the HACCP plans for every one of my recipes, and hopefully the process will be expedited enough that I will be able to start selling in larger market areas. Hopefully, maybe, possibly, potentially by May. We'll see how that goes. If that does end up going, there's also like a ton of other stuff that could possibly be in the works. Kind of, we're mulling it over and deciding kind of where things should be allocated to, you know, what we do have versus, you know, possibly even up to and including building a very small, for me only, kind of commercial kitchen. Basically just like a small, you know, like 10 by 12 structure with the bare bones necessities of what you need. But that would be really neat because then I could just work here on my property and it would just be my space, just get some my space. That is something that we are possibly considering. We might even end up looking into what is required to turn our garage into a commercial kitchen. You know, obviously clean it up, insulate it, you know, see what would take the least amount of work to end up accomplishing. But, you know, all things are possibilities. So we'll see how that ends up going. One thing that I have had a goal for a very long time is to change my battery. One thing that I have had a goal in mind for a very long time was to kind of turn, you know, a combination of possibly like YouTube videos as well as the fermentation business into something that could be sustaining and something that could enable my husband to be able to someday join me in a full-time status. This holdup since October with the health department is kind of the main thing that's standing in my way. And for a while there, you know, I was talking to you guys about it and I had kind of given up on it. Not kind of, I had given up on it and just figured it wasn't going to work. I'm not sure exactly what changed my mind. For those of you who are wondering, I have ADHD and I change my mind more than a 2-year-old little girl changes her outfits. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have maybe, hopefully, reached the point where I'm capable of kind of balancing it. Like I'm placing limitations on myself and I am just kind of figuring out how to get this table. I need that table. Just trying to figure out, ooh, mullein. Look at that beauty. We have so much mullein growing on our property. It's like ridiculous. I think I'm gonna put these guys on the storm shelter. That right there is a full tray, completely packed. Husband just watered it. That, my friend, is why I love Bootstrap Farmer. Full tray. Full, very heavy tray. I need this tray for the market. For this table. Well, I left my worm castings out. They're probably not good anymore. Who am I kidding? I've left that out so many times. It's not even something I care to admit to. Brussels sprouts. I don't remember what I was talking about. Shocker, right? I've been having an asthma attack for like the last 10 minutes. I'm trying really hard to finish this video before I go inside. In case you're wondering why I'm out of breath. It's not major, don't worry. I'm not having a full-blown attack. But I think I was talking about... Come on. What was I talking about? At any rate, my goal, it has been for a very long time to kind of create a business that can be sustaining for our family. Not anything gigantic or massive or dreams of grandeur, but just something that can kind of bring my husband home so he can kind of divert his energies to building something of our own. Because my husband works outside the home. I just work at home, work a lot at home, but I just work at home around the homestead, making videos, doing the ferments, trying to build a business, and that's kind of what I do. And I am a very entrepreneurial person, very purpose-driven. Pretty sure I inherited that from my mom. She was always like that too. I gotta scrub off the garden from my table. Where's the hose? I am kind of in the process of, the first step is just to get approved for selling at farmers markets in larger areas. The second one is to get approved for selling wholesales so that I can sell to stores and things like that. And then the next step after that, I think it might be included. They might be the same step. I'm not too sure. Sorry I'm not looking at you guys. I'm a little all over the place, a little distracted. But I don't know if wholesale would be the same permissions as to be able to sell across state lines to online. But I'm very much looking forward to being able to do that and just be able to sell and ship all of my wonderful fermentation creations that I enjoy doing so much. And I will enjoy doing even more if I can do it in my yard. I don't even have to go anywhere. But I mean, that's a far off dream. Who knows when that will be. But I have come across some things that could become options. I don't know what just happened. It just shut off. I don't know what I was talking about again. Oh, right. Potential future opportunities. A friend of mine she's also in the process. I have several friends who are in the process of building their own businesses. So it's nice to have a group of friends who are kind of on the same wavelength, you know. Building a business is very all-consuming. And if, you know, one person can do this kind of research and be like, oh, I figured this out, and then somebody else does the same thing, you know. It's like we're all in very similar, you know, kind of like healthy foodstuffs kind of arenas, but very different items. So we're not in competition with each other. And I don't know, I just enjoy their friendships. So it's just neat. And one of my friends was telling me about various different types of grant opportunities that can possibly become available, especially since I live in such a remote area, such a rural area. There's a lot of different opportunities to grow businesses. It's something that I'm going to be looking into, seeing if that's an option in order to build a commercial kitchen. Because there's not much opportunity apart from the place that I was at for a commercial kitchen. I think my camera is about to bite the dust. It keeps shutting off for no reason. I just wanted to kind of update you guys, let you know what's going on, that you most likely will not see me for my Tuesday video, but I am hoping that I will have the opportunity to film some and kind of come up with some sort of video revolving around the Baker Creek Festival. And I will definitely be filming the talk that I'm giving at the Keepers of the Old Ways, and possibly a supplementary video just kind of about the whole experience. So I need to get going inside, clean this bad boy up, wash these suckers down, and get to editing this video. So I hope you guys enjoy your day. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Peace out, sauerkraut.